So, good evening, good evening, good evening. As you can tell, my throat is still as bad as it was yesterday. It's now spread down to my chest. I'm on my lemon tea, my lemon and honey tea, actually. Got my water, got my tissues. That's not to dry up all the tears of the salty people in my chat. That's to blow my nose. Big up to everybody who's been waiting backstage. Big up to everyone smashing the likes. Jez's channel link is in the description, along with Kenny's Instagram. Jez, how are you, mate? How you been?
Very well, man. Very well. Still very happy about the great Arsenal yesterday. I had that down as a 1-1, and we came out of the 1-0 win, which I thought was excellent. Proved this team's worth, and I thought, I'll be honest, I thought Chelsea were quite poor yesterday. Didn't really show any threat to us at all. And very, very happy about it. And we move on to the weekend, Saturday evening, is it? I believe. Wolves, is it? We've got.
That's the last league game. Yeah, that's Saturday night.
Yeah. And I know people will say, "Oh, you forgot about the Carrier Bag Cup." Sorry, I'm not that interested in it.
We're gonna have a little debate on that in a minute, because I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, we'll do that a little bit later. But I've seen a lot of people saying change the whole team and all of this. So yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later after we wrap up on the Chelsea stuff. But Kenny, how's your weekend been, man? I see you in the crowd jumping around. Everyone behind you was loving life, really loud as well. I see Granit Xhaka swearing on BT Sport as well, which was kind of funny. But yeah, what was it like being there, mate?
It was absolutely brilliant. It was wet. I'll tell you one thing. I was so hungry before I got there. It only took about 23 minutes to get from Holloway Road all the way to the Grand, and then I just ran to the nearest chippy, got me tickets, shared my chips with Lee Judges and Hoggy. Hoggy. Right. Yeah, and we just went in. But from you look at the away support. There's a reason why I say our away support is the best in the country. You won't get better than that. All louder, all passionate. There's a few away fans who sadly couldn't make it because they said that the tickets were very scarce, but the people were there were brilliant. Couldn't stop singing. We outsang them. Chelsea fans, their only one song was that, they're only
Chelsea. That's all they ever sing.
They were talking about we're the only team in London to win the European Cup, which they're entitled to say.
Yeah.
So to say, but scoring a goal, it was bedlam, and afterwards it was absolutely bedlam. And as you know, Lee, I was there to about well over an hour and a half after kickoff. I didn't want to leave. Yeah, but everything was great. The only thing I told you guys on these in private what I thought of a certain ex-Lincoln International. I'm not going to waste my time naming him, but I'll just say behaviour and attitude was just something that I don't like. Just be a bit humble. Just remember, a lot of football fans come from working class backgrounds, and a lot of the fans that just want a picture. Give them a picture. It doesn't take too long. You're not in a rush, mate. There was no traffic.
Hey, unfortunately, that's how a lot of these footballers are. You see that again last weekend, didn't you, with one of our players?
One of our players. Well, I mentioned him, but one of our players again ignored after the Zurich match. He just drove past and looked arrogantly at one of our fans when they're trying to get a picture. All right, I know it's a bit annoying when people come to your car window, but that's probably why you get paid about $100,000 a week, because of this, and you get all your merchandise and sponsorships and image rights because of this. You don't just get paid for kicking a ball; you get paid for everything else.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, big up to everyone watching this, man. Smash these likes through the roof, people. Big up to everybody who's shown love already. And somebody said, destroy, you beat them 1-0. Mate, they had one shot. So I think that's a demolition, don't you? Like, they done 200 odd million quid in the summer. They've got a brand new manager who plays attacking decent football. We've seen that at 5 years down at Brighton or wherever he's been there. And on paper, you'd say their squad's better than ours. The whole squad, maybe not a starting 11, but a squad would say was better than ours. And to go to Stamford Bridge, and they have one P-roller shot on target, I'd say that's destroyed. But maybe that's just me, mate. I don't know. But thanks for watching anyway. Big up to Fitzjoseph as well. Absolutely must go big in January. If we want to go for the title. 100% agree, man. We're going to come to that in a bit as well. And thank you for the love, Fitz. Appreciate it, man. Thoughts on Liverpool being for sale? I'll come back to that right at the end of the show, bro. We're going to smash through Arsenal because I'm limited on time. After this, I'm 45 minutes. I'm on with Dan Potts and Kevin Campbell. So come and check that out afterwards. But I will come back to that right at the end. I've started the comment, mate. Yeah. But Jez, for me, that was one of the best performances I've seen at Stamford Bridge in my lifetime. And the reason I say that, and people will be like, what? We used to beat them every year. Yeah, we did. But we had a super team back then. We had a team that was carving everyone to pieces all around Europe most of the time as well. Until it got to latter stages, maybe. But yeah, we had the Henrys, the Vieiras and all of that. Canu hat-tricks, Winterburn screamers, Silvino, I think, scored a screamer one year. We used to beat them quite a lot. And but the players we had in them teams were a lot better than the squads we've got now, which is why I think it was a great performance. Because if you look at our squad and compare it to all of them squads, it's nowhere near. But if you go down the route that they did used to then flip it and beat us every single season, and since Mikel Arteta's been here, he has got a very good record against Chelsea. Smashed them up last year, beat them the year before, drew the year before, and then obviously won yesterday. For me, that was one of our best performances at the Bridge. To limit Chelsea to one shot on target, every single one of our defenders, I would say Zinchenko was probably the worst, but that was based on his first 30 minutes of the game. But over the rest of that, I thought we'd done pretty well. But for every single one of our defenders to just look cool, calm, collected, for our midfield to not get worried one bit, for the amount of chances we created, I think that was one of our best ever performances at Chelsea. What did you make of it overall, and who was the standouts for you?
I thought it was an awesome performance, as I said in my fan cam. Yeah, I've seen some great games at Stamford Bridge back in time, and with some great players that we've had. But yeah, I mean, with our squad, which isn't the greatest depth of squad, we know that, we talk about it, and you know, we all know that we've got to do something if we're going to seriously go for the Premier League title. Yeah, but I mean, yesterday that defence. You know, I popped my head in the chopping block, and I've had a few people last night on my review call me out on it. But yeah, I thought Ben White, great performance. Saliba got my man of the match. I gave him a top 9 performance. Gabriel made one slip up, but you know, again, a great performance. Zinchenko
Winner as well.
Sorry.
And scored the winner as well.
And scored the winner. Zinchenko, I think, is not ready. I think he's a bit 80%, 85% fit. So I was a bit surprised he started. But first half, I thought he looked very rusty. Second half, he improved. Then obviously got hooked for Tierney. Tierney came on. I thought he made a big difference. And yeah, I think our defence, our midfield, absolutely outclassed Chelsea. I've got no question. As you quite rightly say, you know, to limit them to one shot on target, where our goalkeeper basically is standing there, getting cold in the rain, probably getting pissed off because he's got nothing to do. And that's what we love to see. Sorry about that, Ramsdale, but if that's the performances Arsenal can give you, then I'm happy for you. You'll get your bonus for having a clean sheet. It was a great performance. Loved it.
Yeah, mate, 100%. I agree with you. I thought Ben White was quality as well. And he's been really good at right back this season. Kenny, you was obviously at the game. Was it as good a performance live than it was watching it on TV?
Well, the thing is, if you watch the first half, we look like the more assured in possession. We look like more dominant midfield because one of the themes of the games Chelsea playing before them was the loss of Kante. You know, Kovacic was on the bench, and I said out aloud on previous shows that if they played a midfield of Loftus-Cheek, with Loftus-Cheek, and I thought, yeah, we're going to be laughing because, Loftus-Cheek, Mason, Mount, and Jorginho, yes, please. And that's the thing. What you notice about our players as well is the size of us. Athletically, we will outstrength them. because that's times when we played Chelsea, they've outstrengthened us. You can only think about the times when we played tiki-taka football, where, you know, Cess, you know, Nasri, we used to go to, you know, Stamford Bridge, have most of the possession, but they'll outmus us both in areas of midfield and, you know, with obviously players like Drogba. Today, we were the big guys, and it showed. Thomas Partey was imperious. You know, Saliba was just unbelievable. Two of our best players on the pitch. You know, obviously, you know, Zinchenko, he was picked for a purpose. He was picked in order not just for Arsenal to outmuscle Chelsea midfield, but to have an extra man in terms of keep possession. And I think that's how Arsenal are probably going to play, which is a bit frustrating for Kieran Tierney. But I insist that he can play that way, because, you know, maybe, and I think that any left backs now, it seems that if you want to excel, you're going to have to be not only good in attack in terms of like putting crosses in, you've got to be very, very comfortable in possession, because you are probably going to be required to sit in the midfield and create an extra number. Instead of being 4-3-3, it would be a full firm player in there. So that's the way I think Arsenal are going to go. But in terms of like how we create the better chances, Jesus should have scored. You know, Thomas Partey flicked it away from Martinelli, and the goal was just we were shocked because we were right behind it when the corner went in, and we were thinking, how has that gone through? Because every corner that both sides took very rarely beat the first man. Because and I remember talking with Hoggy, I was saying, don't you think defenses are so well drilled at set pieces that it's really boring nowadays when a corner goes in, because you know they're going to clear it. And then
no, to me, when it is, Kenny, most people can't cross a blooming ball. Let's be real. Can't cross a ball.
Yeah, but that as well. But you think about it, you know, the actual move started when basically Silva got robbed by Jesus, and then there was a 1-2 of Jesus a second, and you know, Mendy at saved at near post, and then we had the corner routine again. The way the ball went in, it was a shock that, you know, that it looked like it was going in already, because it was you know, Saka to the ball. Went, no way has he scored direct for the corner, no way. And then all we could see was because we thought that Gabriel just made sure, because it was already going in. But I was thinking, what happened there? And then you get home and you see Cucurella hugging Xhaka. And then after that, I must say, there was no way they were breaking us down. Absolutely no way. We were strong, you know, in terms of like our positionings. We're strong in the tackle. And in terms of like, we protected our goalkeeper. As you said, it was only one shot from Havertz, was a grass cutter. Apart from that, we were completely dominant. And we had the better team, and it showed yesterday.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I thought it was funny when I see Cucurella just standing there. It was like he was cuddling his wife or something. Like, just, and they literally didn't move. Excuse me, my throat is battered, by the way. Big up to everyone showing love in the comments. No, I'm not unwell. I just got a sore throat, which is killing my chest as well. But we are still standing for now. But yeah, I totally agree. I thought it was a great performance. I thought we were solid as well. Chelsea just couldn't get near us all over the park. And I said this to Goonie. I felt like some of their players have down tools. Like Raheem Sterling, definitely. He looks like he just can't be bothered. Every time he looked up yesterday, no one there in the box. Every time he's getting the ball, he's run down the wing, no one near him. Aubameyang, I think, had 8 touches all game before he got hooked. Kai Havertz, he's just shocking, that guy. I don't see what everyone raves about him for. Scored 1 Champions League final goal and everyone's still got their pants down. Don't really get it.
Lee, sorry to cut you. But there's one player who was just as shocking, but because he's English and he came through their youth system, people are not going to criticise him. But I was nice on Instagram when I said, you know, this guy, I don't recognise this player. What's happened to him? But what I really wanted to say, what does he do? And you know I'm talking about, don't you?
Mason Mount, yeah. But that's the same with Loftus-Cheek. He's crap. No, I don't get what the hype is. Like Mason Mount, I think is actually a good player. Yeah, but he was crap yesterday. But Loftus-Cheek, I don't even know how he's still there, mate. That guy's been nicking a living for about 7-8 years. No, it's unreal that he's still at that football club. The only reason he's rated is because girls fancy him. That's it. And after the Chelsea fan base fancy him. Like maybe he should become a male model or something because he's a shit footballer. But anyway, let's move on to a non-shit footballer, somebody that is actually a very, very good footballer. He's been called up for Brazil today for the World Cup, and that is Gabriel Jesus, our summer signing. Started like a house on fire. And we were like, wow, this guy could be the 20-25 goal a season, man. He's kind of not scored for 9 games, missing sitters in pretty much all of them as well. Jez, do you think there's an issue there? I mean, we're still winning games, so at the moment it don't really matter, does it? But do you think there's some kind of issue there, or do you just think it's just the fact that he ain't prolific and he's doing the teamwork rather than being that focal point? Because I feel like we need a focal striker, like a Mitrovic, a Tony, a Giroud-esque type forward with him in the team as well. But what do you think, mate?
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. We know this guy's never been a 20 goal striker. He started off like a whirlwind. It's petered out. To my mind now, I think he's over trying it. And we've seen this in the past with certain strikers. But yeah, he's not the guy who's going to get us the 20 goals a season. He is doing hard work. He's seriously working hard. You can't knock him for that. He takes defenders out of the game, sometimes enabling Martinelli or others, which we have seen in Xhaka. Yesterday, Gabriel got the winner, fair play from a corner. But yeah, he's not the guy that's going to get us 20 goals a season. So, as I said yesterday to you, Lee, we've got to go in this transfer window in January with the World Cup, the biggest shop window in world football. We've got to go and we've got to get a proper striker. And if that means we go for Ivan Toney, go to Brentford and say, right, how much do you want? We'll pay.
Give him Eddie and Nketiah in exchange.
Well, yeah, let's not mess about anymore.
Eddie and a bit of money.
We're in this. We are now in a title race. Nobody can deny that. So if we're in this to be serious, then Josh, Edu, and all that need to go out and say, right, we are going to do some serious business. I know it is tricky in the January window, but we have bought players in that window. Aubameyang we bought. Okay, it didn't end up as a happy marriage, but for a few seasons, that guy was a great player for Arsenal. So we need to go out there and seriously do the damage and say, we're serious now. We're not going to be taking the piss out of. We're actually serious. We want to go for this Premier League. So if that's the case, get out there, do the business, not ponce about. If we see a player that's available for 55, 60 million, pay the money. Pay it.
100%, mate. I think we should be going all in for a striker. And this is where our fans need to wake up now. Yeah, because it's all well and good sitting and laughing at other teams. Let's laugh at Tottenham. They lost yesterday. Let's laugh at United. They lost yesterday. It's all great. But I said this last week. You're sat top of the table. You're laughing at everyone else. You then say to these people, where do you think you're going to finish then? Where do you think Arsenal are going to finish? Oh, well, top 4's the aim. Well, why are you laughing then? Yeah, because all of them teams I've just mentioned could still get top 4. So if we end up in top 4 and they end up in top 4, then we've all done exactly the same. I don't get it. Makes no sense to me. Anyway, Kenny, what do you make of Jesus's lack of goals recently?
You know, look, we knew what we were getting with Jesus. He wasn't a particularly prolific player for Pep Guardiola. Because the simple reason is that the fact is that Pep Guardiola is always, relies on just a lot more than a 6-yard box and play. We always knew that with Aguero, he had issues with Aguero's move, industry off the ball. He had issues with Aguero's weight, whilst Jesus brings other players into the game. And one thing is that he stretches teams as well, and he gets into excellent positions and doesn't miss his chances. But to be honest, it's an art. Scoring goals is an art, and I just think that one of the things that's probably papering over the cracks in terms of Jesus' lack of prolific how do I say it, return is the fact that we're getting goals from all over the place. However, you both got a great point. We can't always rely on that because, in these sort of games, do you remember back in the day in the, with the Premiership, sometimes you win a game 1-0 because teams put men behind the ball. But if you're going for the Championship, you just need to put the ball in that. Remember, Man United in their pomp, Eric Cantona used to, come with a goal and it'd be 1-0. And sometimes we are going to need a player like a Jesus or a striker as such to put the ball in it, because it's worrying, because not because it's affecting the team, but it's because you're thinking, well, he is getting those positions. Goalkeepers are making really great saves. It's brilliant what he's doing, but in order for what we want as a striker, we do need to put the ball in the net and make games. Because, for instance, 1-0, if say he takes his chances, we could be out of sight in games. So yeah, that is you guys, I both agree with what you're saying, because at the moment goals are coming from all over the pitch. We're playing well as a team. The unit is well oiled. But one of the reasons why me and you are not saying right, we're going to win the league, but we want to win the league, is because we know busy in the season. We've been doing this so many times as football fans and watching not just Arsenal, but seeing our championships burn out at times, because sometimes you just struggle for goals. It happens. We've seen it many times, and we don't want it to happen to us. And I agree with you. We do need variety. We do need to look at a player who can give us something different. Someone. All right, Jesus. I'm not saying Jesus is weak on the ball, but Ivan Toney. If you want to play it direct, or if you want him to link the play, he's brilliant at that. And plus, another thing, he lives for goals. And just think, in a team like Brentford, where it's not a top side, he still has got an impressive goal record. Can you imagine, with the chance we created, with the amount of bodies we get forward, how many goals we score for us? He'll be laughing. So yeah, definitely got to do that. And that helped Jesus. We don't have to always play Jesus. We don't have to play the same front three. We can always, maybe for a game, so right, Jesus down the left-hand side, up top Ivan Toney, and then Saka. Because anytime we suggest we rotate Saka, Mick Arteta sticks two fingers up to us, says, no, you can rotate everyone else, but not my boy Saka. So he's teacher's pet, isn't he?
100%. Jack said that Gabriel Jesus isn't in the squad. I've just Googled it, mate. He's in the squad. He's in the 26-man provisional squad.
He is. The thing with Jesus is that he is actually going to be starting games for Brazil, because I think when I was watching a program with Tim Vickery, he was a South American correspondent for BBC, and he's lived in Brazil for a long time. Brazil play kind of like a triangle with him at the top of that triangle because of his industry and everything. So and Martinelli's probably going to be coming off the bench, but Jesus will be a certain starter for the Selección. So that was always going to happen. In terms of, sorry about Gabriel Magalhaes, but for me, I like Arsenal players playing for the World Cup for their countries, because it's good for Arsenal. All this rubbish. From a selfish point of view, I hope he doesn't go to the World Cup, because it'd be great for Arsenal. How is it great for Arsenal? You're going to have a player, a heartbroken player in your hands. You can't play for his...
I'm doing nothing apart from being upset watching his country.
Look, I'm tribal, and I know football club comes for everything, but at the end of the day, I like players fulfilling their ambitions.
Totally agree with that, Kenny. All day.
Yeah, same. Sorry, I was just blaming you. Jesus Christ, mate, it's so annoying. The amount of snot and phlegm in my body right now is disgusting. So yeah, I'm struggling my way through this, but we're going to get there. Big up to everybody who's watching. Over 400 here right now. Make sure you are smashing the likes up. Big up to everybody who has done that already. And big up to Southern Gooner as well, and to Connor for membership as well. Appreciate that, bro. And to everybody who has thrown one in. The ones that I'll read out towards the end, the Chikes and the first one that came in from Cat Sunday as well. So other than that, I've commented and read every one of them. Good brothers, time for us to put a big boy pants on and challenge for the title. Demand that the regime smash the clash. I can't fucking speak. Splash the cash. As I told you yesterday, it's been a very long time since we've been in such a good position. It has been 6 years, which ironically was last time we were in the Champions League. So yeah, and that was the season Leicester won the league. So yeah, 7 years ago, wasn't it? 2016. So yeah, nearly 7 years. Wow. So yeah, it's about time. And it's funny because if they've got any balls, like you said, you guys will go out there and we'll sign a striker. Jesus does need help. I'm actually surprised he has gone to the World Cup, if I'm honest. When you look at the attacking players that they've got, Vinicius Jr., Neymar, Anthony, Rodrigo, Richarlison, although he's not been great at all this season, has he? They've got a lot of attacking players. Martinelli's obviously gone. Buzzing for Martinelli, by the way. I think he deserves a position. I think he's been superb this season. Jesus has been good, and don't get it twisted. I think he has, but we brought him to score goals as well, and hopefully he starts finding his shooting boots after Christmas. Otherwise, if we don't buy a striker, I can feel a bit of a drop coming in. But yeah, big up to you, Matty. I appreciate that, man. And
maybe a bit of Edu's influence there with the Brazilian team because he used to work with them, didn't he?
We did, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might be. You never know. But then again, saying that, Gabriel Magalhaes hasn't gone, which when I look at their defenders that they've got, their centre-backs, they've got Bremer, who I don't really know much about. Then they've got Thiago Silva. Well, he's got to be such a 37, 38 now, isn't he? Right. And although he's been a very good, and he is still a very good centre-back, I can't imagine he's going to start every game. Although he has played more minutes than any Chelsea player this season, so maybe I'm completely wrong. And then they've got Marquinhos, who's good. After that, they've got Bremer and who's the other one? It's gone. It's gone. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, I'm a bit surprised he didn't make it. But anyway, 2 have gone. When's the England squad done? Does anyone know when the England squad comes out?
Thursday. It's Thursday. So he's going to name his. I think his name is 26. But again, we have a bit of conundrums ourselves because we know Saka's going, but you know the conundrum at right back, and maybe if he wants a bit of versatility, the player who plays for us that shouts is Benjamin White, because you know a lot of people, Arsenal fans and people within the football community think, well, judging by the season he has and judging by the fact that he offers England a bit of versatility, i.e. playing the right-hand side of a centre-half partnership or playing a back three, obviously at right back there, that he could be a possibility that for Gareth Southgate, and he's good on the ball as well. So that's something that maybe Arsenal fans could be looking at and pushing for.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, because so yeah, I've never I've seen a lot of people moaning about like some of our players not going, like Gabriel obviously, but there was, because the squad was semi-leaked, yeah, and it said that Martinelli wasn't in the squad, but Jesus was, or vice versa. I can't remember. And I see a load of people crying about it, saying, "Oh yeah, they should all be in there. They've been brilliant. We're top of the table." Blah blah blah. It's like, well, why do you care if they go or not? You ain't Brazilian. Like honestly, like I don't get it. If you're English, yeah, like me, then obviously I want to see the best players in our squad. And if they play for us or play for United or play for Chelsea, I want to see them. Yeah, if you're Brazilian, I suppose you want to do the same, and for every other country. But if you've got no connection to Brazil's national team, why do you care what Brazil are doing? Like, I couldn't give a toss what they do, if I'm honest. Like, same with the Germans, same with the French, same with any other nation that's in it. I genuinely couldn't care. If I had to pick a winner, I'd go Argentina, but I couldn't care less who wins it because we ain't. I don't care. It's pretty simple, isn't it? People get so emotionally attached and upset on behalf of other people. I find it weird. It's weird, mate. It's just weird. But there we go. Maybe that's just me. Big up to everybody in the chat. Make sure you are smashing the like button up. Make sure you subscribe to Jez's channel. The link is in the description. So is Kenny's Insta. You should be smashing the likes through the roof anyway, because the way I'm struggling through this hour-long chat with my throat killing me, you should be appreciative of that. But anyway, we do have a little debate coming up here, me and Jez, and Kenny, chip in if you feel like it, mate. Jez, we do have a game on Wednesday against Brighton. You said on your fan cam that you would rest as many as possible for the game at the weekend for Wolves. For anybody who hasn't watched the fan cam, why would you do that? Just out of interest, considering we've only got 2 games left.
Well, personally, I think the Carrier Bag Cup it is what it is. I'm more focused right now, Lee, on our team winning against Wolverhampton Wanderers away. Last game before we go into the World Cup, I want Arsenal to go into that Wolves game top of the league. It says a statement that people will look and see and think about. And yeah, I mean, Brighton are a decent side, and good luck to them. No disrespect to them whatsoever. For them to win the Carrier Bag Cup is a major trophy to them. Let's get it right. I'm not disrespecting that trophy, but we've got bigger things on the table right now. We are in the last 16, coming into March next year in the Europa League, and we are top of the league right at this point in time. So I'd rather see a weakened, when I say a weakened team, I mean Pot Ramsdale in goal, fair play. Maybe play Tierney. But let's give this awesome academy that we're told about, the amazing 15-year-old that played against Brentford, never been seen since. Give them a go. Give them a go. We know Brighton will come out of a decent team. We know that. And that's my look on this. I'd much rather Arsenal save some players, rest them. Example, Saka. Instead of playing Saka, put in Smith Rowe.
I think he's injured still, mate.
Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah, I think he's still injured.
Sorry, I meant Reece Nelson. Beg your pardon. Sorry, I meant Reece Nelson. Stick him in. Give him a run out. You know, give him some match time. Give him some minutes. Saka, rest him up and get him ready and fit for the game on Saturday evening. You know, it's an important game for Arsenal. You know, we're not here now to piss arse around. We are here to challenge and say to Man City and, dare I say it, Newcastle, that we're here to make a, you know, we're going to be here in March, Boxing Day when we come back, and we're in for a challenge now. We're in for a fight. And this is what I want to see from Arsenal. So, no, that's my opinion. Simple as that.
No, well, fair enough. Listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion. My argument to that is we've got 2 games left and it's a World Cup. And this football club hasn't won a trophy since Mikel Arteta first came in and inherited the squad that Unai left. So for me personally, I don't think we can just throw competitions in the bin when we're not exactly winning anything. So I just think go for it. Just throw a team out there, throw the best team out there. Maybe not the best team we can put out, but maybe a couple of youngsters, maybe Reece Nelson instead of Saka. Yeah, maybe El Neni instead of Partey. And then you can have them on the bench if needed. Similar to like Europa League, like with some of the teams we've played in the Europa League, some of the squads we've put out. Go with that maybe Europa League squad, because I do think Brighton will put a half-decent squad out. That manager's only just got there. He's going to want to try and prove something as well. He's going to want it. And listen, so far he has. He's kept the playing style and they smashed Chelsea the other day. So he's doing all right, which is why I think that we should go pretty strong against them. I'd love to win the League Cup. If we win it, I'll be knee-sliding all around Spain. Like honestly, if we win it, I ain't seen Arsenal win a cup for 3 years by the end of this season. 2.5 years ago was the last time we won the cup. So, you know, it was only the FA Cup, and I say that because I've seen 9 of them. But at the same time, I want to see the league title. Yeah, so I get what you're saying, Jez. But for me, 2 games. If we didn't have a World Cup on, I'd 100% say cool, because let's just focus on the league all through November and December. But the fact that we're going to World Cup next week, no, not for me, man. Not for me. I'd go for it for both of them games. What do you reckon, Jez? I've done that twice now. What do you reckon, Kenny?
Well, the thing about it is, I can see both sides of the story. If we had like a big squad, then obviously you have to go for it. But I can understand from small squad situations, you don't want players getting injured. And, you know, I was always like of the opinion of the Europa League, because of the standards of the teams. I wanted players left out. The thing is, though, I want to win trophies. I want to win the Europa League. I want the league. And I want to, because I want us to get into the mentality of the clubs who've dominated football. Like, for instance, you think about Mourinho's first trophy when he came to this country in 2005 was the League Cup, a tournament he took seriously, beat Man United in the semi-finals, beat Liverpool in the final. And you look at Pep Guardiola, he's used the League Cup as a sort of like a barometer of, you know, of how he wants the season to finish. He wants Man City to win titles so they look like they mean business, like win everything. And I think that kind of winning is a great habit. Winning trophies is even a greater habit. And I think that, you know, to show that you've achieved something this season, you know, you start with the League Cup, then you have a go at the FA Cup and try and win everything. And I think I understand what people are saying. Like, the league is an opportunity sometimes that you have regrets, that if players are too knackered, you know, in the business end of the season, it's going to show and we'll drop points. But I don't know. I think if we're going to be a serious team, and we might as well start as we are now, I think that you have to have the mentality of every game matters and win every trophy that matters. But we're only going to be able to do that and mean it if we get a proper squad this in terms of next year, and enhance the squad this January. Because I think the only way you can win big trophies and go for every trophy is if your squad's, you know, a bit thick in terms of quality. At the moment, I think there's quality there, but in terms of size, it's thin. So I get where Jesse's coming from. I really do. But from my perspective, I like, you know, Arsenal to win something, because I think the way we're playing, I want something to show for it. Obviously, not the League Cup, but, you know, if beggars, you know, can be choosers, I want silverware. This team needs to win silverware, preferably the big gongs. But, you know, I would like it to be you know, like the league. But if we had a big squad, no doubt, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. We go for everything, like City do, like Man United did under Sir Alex, and Liverpool did with their big squad. You know, they won the most unlikely trophies that you associate with Liverpool, the league. Although you associated them previously, the League Cup and the FA Cup, where really and truly the tournaments they wanted was the Champions League and the league. Lee, you're on mute.
I'm having a shocker with the stream, and I should have just let you two do it together. I was going to say, obviously, I agree with what you're saying in terms of there's priority. Yeah, the league is not the League Cup, is it? Let's be real. We want to win the league. Yeah, the Europa League is better than the League Cup. It's better than the FA Cup in terms of it's a European trophy. For me and for you guys, I'd imagine both of you. I can't speak for you guys, but and everyone in the chat. I love the FA Cup, but I also love the League Cup, and that's why I feel the League Cup's been really degraded over the last 20 years. And it was us, along with Fergie, that were starting to play reserve teams in it. And then after that, now you see League One teams playing reserve teams. And I just think that's a piss take, if I'm honest. Some of these clubs will never, ever, ever win anything. So why not ever go in some of these competitions? Like, I understand 100% what you said, Jez. Like, the league is more important. I get that 100%. But if we were winning and shit every year, then I'd totally 100% be with you. But listen, it's your opinion, mate. And people sit there and say we all agree. Well, that's a load of rubbish then, isn't it? Because we ain't all agreed on that one, have we?
This is the thing about this. This is why this is the best podcast out there, because people sit there and talk shit and say, you know, oh, you're all planned and you're all in it together. No, we're not. We're all three adults that have an opinion. We have a brain. I have my opinion. I don't always agree with Lee. I don't always agree with Kenny. And you know, it goes around. That's what makes this such a great podcast. and that is why a lot of people come and watch it. Yeah, personally, I'm not interested in the Carrier Bag Cup. Yeah, we've won it twice back in time, and okay, fair play. Our history is in winning the FA Cup and winning the league, and that's what I want. We need to win the league. It's been 18 bleeding years, and that's the longest period in time in Arsenal's history we haven't won a league. So it's a priority. I'm sorry, it's a priority. And if we're serious, then we need to go and develop this squad. And the only reason I'm saying I'm not taking the Carrier Bag seriously is because we have a massive priority, and we don't have the depth of squad to compete in all the trophies. Premier League, FA Cup, EFL. That's my priorities.
No, listen, harsh. Fair enough, mate.
It's harsh.
No, listen,
it's harsh.
No, it's not harsh. It's your opinion, Jez. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion. If people don't like it, then they don't like it. Like, that's it. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, the Premier League is a bigger trophy than the FA Cup. That ain't even a debate. Yeah, it's a bigger trophy than the League Cup. Yeah, none of them cups, like, they're lotteries. Yeah, a 38-game league season is not a lottery. The best team wins it. It's as simple as that. Yeah, you know, we've seen Wigan get to a final, Millwall get to a final. You know, back in the day, we see Wimbledon play Liverpool in a final. Wimbledon weren't exactly the greatest football team on the planet, were they? Do you know what I mean? We've seen Coventry get to finals before back in time. So, you know, it's a lottery. Teams can go to the FA Cup final from lower divisions. Yeah, the likes of seeing Leicester win a title again from being down the bottom are pretty slim. Let's be honest. We're probably never going to see that again in our lifetime. So the best team normally wins the league. The best team don't always win the FA Cup or the League Cup or the Champions League or the Europa League. I mean, Real Madrid, were they the best team in Europe last season? On paper they were, because they beat all the top teams in England. But they got battered by City, they got battered by Chelsea, and they got battered by Liverpool. Well, maybe not battered by Liverpool, but they definitely should have lost to City, and they should have lost to Chelsea as well. But they ended up winning the biggest prize in the world. So for club football anyway, but is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, Coventry beat Spurs. What was the fella's name who scored? He jinked round everyone, didn't he? What was his name?
Yeah.
Kenny, no. What was his name? He dribbled round everyone.
Oh, no. I think, what's it? It was Houchin scored the header, in it, the diving header. But the first goal was by Dave Bennett, and then Gary Mabbott scored the equaliser, who put Spurs 2-1 up, scored the winner for Coventry of a deflection.
Oh, there you go. Fair enough. See, Kenny never misses. No. But yeah, Birmingham in 2011, Jay, absolutely spot on with that comment, mate. Like, who would have thought that we would have bottled that to Birmingham City? Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? I know West Ham. The last time West Ham sang, I wasn't even born.
I remember that. I don't want to talk about that. You were there, weren't you? You were there, weren't you?
I was there. Tony Brookie.
And again, Wigan beating Man City. You know, now look at where Wigan are. Does anyone even know what division they're in?
Where's the guy who scored? Where is he? What's he doing with himself now? Great header, by the way. But what was he doing with himself?
What was his name? Ben something, wasn't it?
Was it Watson or something? Yeah.
Ben Watson, I think. Yeah, redhead, wasn't he?
Yeah, Watson. Yeah, I think he played with Chris Pratt and QPR as well.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? Actually mad. But yeah, Obafemi Martin's doing his backflip. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget Wenger for that. I'll never forgive him for that. We should have won that final. Yeah, the Michael Owen final, fair enough. Michael Owen was brilliant. Yeah, but again, we should have won that.
Dominated the game.
But the thing is, I can't get too angry with that, because when we beat Man United and Vieira scored his last goal for the club, we fucking robbed them, mate. Yeah, so it kind of balances it out. But yeah, with Birmingham City, that was unforgivable. Yeah, that was unforgivable what happened that day, man. Szczesny, flipping idiot. Szczesny and who was it? Koscielny, that's it. One of the most overrated centre-backs I've ever seen in the world, ever. Right? Because, oh yeah, look, cost the boss. Can't even boss his missus. Like, you know what I mean?
That was
cancelled. I better shut up.
It was so upsetting because you could actually see it happening before it happened. When they actually When they both went off the ball, I went, no. And then when just as he was about to kick the strike it into the empty net, people were walking out behind me. And there was a massive groan, and we just knew that we weren't going to come back. We just knew it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, mate. And yeah, that, like I said, is unforgivable. Good old Wenger. And I wonder if he's decided to come to his statue unveiling yet. Anyway, before we ramble on, I've got some super chats to read out from earlier. Big up to everybody who has donated. The ones I've pinned on the screen, I've replied to everybody in the comments. Thank you very much, giving you the answer to the comments. Sometimes it just stops the flow of what we're talking about at that time. So if they're included in what we're talking, then I'll pin them straight away and we go. But big up to Kasande. Thoughts on Liverpool being for sale? Let me start with you, Jez.
Interesting. I saw a comment earlier that if Liverpool are up for sale by their American owners, will this cascade into the Cronkies? No, not at all. Liverpool up for sale? Okay, fair play. I know no facts about this at all, so I'm not qualified to comment. But if they do get sold, I hope it's a decent buyer or consortium, more likely nowadays, that will come in for them. And good luck to them. Fair play. They're a great club. They're a big club. And wish them all the best. This will not cascade into the Cronkies selling, especially at this point in time. I mean, I would love to see the Cronkies gone. I won't deny that, but it ain't going to. So there's no correlation there between that and what's going on at Arsenal. Absolutely not.
Mate, I totally agree. Liverpool. I'll read the statement. Well, I won't read the statement. I'll read out what David Orns is. But Liverpool have been put up for sale by Fenway Sports Group. The sale deck has been produced for interested parties. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley assist in evaluation process. Unclear if the deal gets done, but FSG are inviting offers. I will read the statement. It's only tiny. There has been a number of recent changes in the ownership and rumours of changes in ownership at EFL clubs. And inevitably, I can't even speak today. Sorry for everyone who has seen me struggling through this. We asked regularly about Fenway Sports Group's ownership in Liverpool. FSG has frequently received expressions of interest from third parties seeking to become shareholders at Liverpool. FSG said before that under the right terms and conditions, they would consider new shareholders if it was the best interest of the football club. FSG remains fully committed to the success of the club on and off the pitch. Reading that sounds like they're just looking for a new shareholder rather than selling the old club. But I don't know. What do you make of it, Kenny?
I think it's been coming for a while. I think there's a lack of trust between Liverpool fans and the club. I think a lot of that's to do with the European Super League, because Liverpool were part of that in terms of like the forerunners, and also they were also part of the redistribution, which I think was a good thing, really, because I think it was a good idea, but it was never. It will take a lot of time for Liverpool fans to accept this. But the fact is that Liverpool cannot, match the investment of teams like Chelsea and Man City and now Newcastle. So if they can't, and Liverpool definitely need to invest in that team, then they have to walk away and get someone else who can. Because let's face it, that squad does need a bit of freshening up and reinvestment, because it's been playing together for a long, long time. And, I think the evidence suggests it's gone a bit stale if you look at their results as well. So, fresh investment is something I think Liverpool fans will be very good with. And I think, to be honest, I don't think that football fans in this country at the moment are happy or comfortable with American ownership, American ownership. So I think that they're probably looking for someone from maybe the Far East, or from someone from the Middle East. but the consulting thing as well.
Well, the Saudi royal family around the corner, mate. Do you want me to go and have a word with them, see if they come by
Yeah,
Arsenal?
yeah. Well, I think what's happening is that Liverpool might be short of buyers. They're a massive, massive club. Them and Man United, them and Man United are the biggest clubs in Britain, followed up by us. So, you know, and they've only just recently won the league, and they've recently been competing in European Championship finals, and they've won numerous trophies, and they've got a world-class manager who's not going to want to buy that club. It's an elite club.
Oh, 100%. Listen, got a couple more to do. I'm going live with Dan Potts and Kevin Campbell in a minute. So rapid fire on this one, gentlemen. Big up to Chike. Says Kenny Jez, what are your thoughts on the Champions League round of 16, including PSG, Bayern, and Liverpool, Madrid? Oh. Go on, Jez. You go first, mate.
Well, we know the history, don't we? It's going to be tricky. That's again what I'm saying, Lee. We're disagreeing about focusing on the important stuff, and I say it again. Come January, Edu and Josh, we know you're watching us. Get out there and spend and buy the players we need. Get that striker, winger, attacking midfielder, strike type player, right back. And in my book, I think we need another backup goalkeeper. I know Tina Turner's half decent. He ain't great. And, you know, if we're going to be serious at this, and I mean seriously, bring stuff to the table, then get out and do it. Let's not muck about and piss arse around. Do it. And I get angry when I see that these things come out and nothing happens. Do the bloody job that you're paid to do. Josh Kroenke, you are the owner of this club. If you are serious about Arsenal, you made the statement. Edu made the statement. It's about trophies. Then get out there and effing do it.
There you go. Well said, mate. Well said. Kenny, what about you? Rapid fire, though. I've got to be quick, mate, because I've got another one after that, as well.
All right. Liverpool got Champions League. All right. In terms of the Champions League, you know, there's some big games. I generally think that an English club are going to get to like the final again, because I think, like, if you look at the draws that Man City and Tottenham had and Chelsea have, they've had some good draws. I can see all three of them getting the quarterfinals, and Liverpool just had to. It's up to them. Anything can happen in that game in the last 16.
Thank you, mate. And last one for you, Kenny. Does Kenny think England could beat India in the T20?
Only if they're allowed to, and the ICC allowed to. Don't change the rules to benefit India.
Okay, and on that bombshell, we are out of here, people. I've got to be rapid because it's only a short show. It's going to be about 40 minutes with Dan and Kevin Campbell. The link is pinned in the title. Jez, very quickly, mate, what have you got coming up?
Wednesday night, 5:30. I've got Kenny Ken, as always, the legend, and Carl Walsh and Del Boy and a couple of others coming on. Just going to do a stream talking all about Arsenal, and go enjoy. Have a look. See what you think.
Link in description, people. Kenny, what you got coming up?
I'm going to probably just watch Strictly Takes Two and laugh at the fact that Tony Adams is still in Strictly Come Dancing. I love it that you're upset about it. Tony, keep it going. We love you, Tony Adams. Get in.
Big up, big time. Big Tony Adams, yeah. Listen, thanks to everyone who's watched live, everyone who's smashed the likes up. If you haven't, smash them now. Big up to everybody who's watched on playback. Apologies about the state of my voice and my throat is killing me. I've now got to go and do another 45 minutes with Dan Potts and Kevin Campbell. So the link for that is pinned comment in the live chat. Thanks to everybody who has watched. We're out of here. Adios, amigos. Arteta in this weekend for now.
Victoria Crescent. And rest that for